Alright, what is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to the channel. Connor on Chain. So we are back checking out the markets as usual. There's been a bunch of random stuff going on. I feel like the sentiment overnight just kind of flipped a little bit. We're starting to see a lot of, a little bit of movement again, finally, which is a good thing, right? We've seen a bunch of different coins pumping. We got Link AI having a good little move today, which is good. If you guys don't know Link AI, it's in my opinion a very strong AI coin right now. Sitting around 21 million in market cap. Still looking good. This is like a more long-term gem, but that's cool. That was funny. But anyways, 64.9, about 65k. We got Bitcoin still sitting there. So today I just want to go over a bunch of different altcoins. Because Bitcoin is looking pretty good for where it's at. The 4-hour RSI is low. Looked like we had a very low wake down here, well into, what is it, like 22? Yeah, like 22, 23. So that definitely could have been some sort of full load bottom on the RSI for the 4-hour. Maybe we tap it one more time before we start a little trend to the upside. But even here, it does look good in my opinion. So I think as time goes on over the next few days to about a couple of weeks, we'll probably have a nice little bounce up here. But, from that, again, we're just going to be taking this day by day for now. Maybe it bounces, kind of comes, test this. Something like this is going to be the deciding time, So then if it decides to just drop, we could see this continue down before a huge leg up. Or this could just finally break through, and hold some sort of trend line, right? So again, it's just day by day with the market, but it has been looking good. And, altcoins, like I said, have been kind of bouncing. Having some good bounces, Like I said, we got Link AI. This was initially when I called this. When was that? All the way back in March. Yeah, and this thing has literally just been holding for so long. Which that's why I'm really bullish on it too. It has been holding in this entire sideways action for the last couple months now. Personally, I think it looks really good. We got IXS. It was up a little bit today, which is good. Like I said in the last video, this is still one of my favorite coins on the market. Chart still looks very good. Very primed to continue. This is probably going to bounce up and down here. Like we're seeing, do something like this. Maybe it continues if it follows this long-term trend all the way back from January. If I can draw that a little better. But IXS looks good. And I'm going to go over even some stuff on, some newer coins, newer launches. I'm going to start just getting more degen again with it on the channel. Because I feel like I really haven't covered many micro caps and stuff, over the last few months. Because I feel like if many of you guys have watched some of my early videos, mainly the sentiment was a lot different, obviously, which is why I don't really call crazy things on YouTube like that right now. But all I was doing was finding like micro caps, literally like under 1 million, 500k, 300k, 600k, and just holding those and riding the wave up. Bitcoin was at like 20 something, maybe 30k, upwards of where it's at now. That huge move had all these coins, just fly like crazy. But again, right now the sentiment's a lot different. So focusing on very strong projects across different narratives. But I do want to cover some meme coins as well in this video. But so yeah, we got IXS still looking good in my opinion. Chart's holding up. This was a huge whale dump. I guess a whale potentially got hacked. This is early in May. Huge opportunity for anyone that bought that dip. Rode that right back up. What else we got? One coin that is at a discount right now is Spec. Spec dumped pretty heavily. and I think it still looks very good initially. Because this one personally is a long term. I think it looks great. I'll link something above talking more about spec when I took a deep dive into what they're doing. This is still a newer project, newer coin, and like I said, I think this is a great overall AI pick. It might just take a little while for this entire market, just to really pick up again. But I do think the sentiment has been looking better just in the last day or two, which is good. But yeah, spec is doing good. FLT is a newer one. That one's still kind of bottomed out, which again I kind of expected that. It's not going to do too much, again, until AI coins across the board start flying again. So for most of these coins, at the end of the day, that's mainly what I'm waiting for. Is all this stuff to really take off. And Solana meme coins, we got a bunch of different things going on too. The meta the last couple days has actually been, cute dogs and cute cat coins again. This coin Billy here has been on a tear. It has just been non-stop grinding up from literally 2 days ago. Sitting at 66 million in market cap right now. This chart just, it looks really good for continuation, but again, keep in mind I'm not making this video letting you guys know to buy any of these. I'm just kind of going over a lot of new launches that happened over the last couple days. So I'm personally not in Billy. I don't plan on buying it right here, right now. To me, this chart is way too up only in the short term. So I will not be jumping into this. Again, just be very cautious with this. And this video, this is also partially a lot of the reason why I don't like to cover too many new coins, because a lot of people will blindly ape into stuff that I'm just talking about. I'm not trying to tell anyone that this is a buy signal. It's just, this is what has been hot on the market in the last couple of days, right? That's all I'm trying to get across with a lot of this stuff. But again, the trend does look good. But honestly, at some point, I do expect this to break down. And maybe it bounces below, and then it actually has a nice continuation. But I think, honestly, on and off throughout the next 6 to 8 months, I do think that, cute animals specifically are going to be a trend that is here to stay, on and off. Because I think less than a month ago, maybe a month ago, we saw a ton of cats. Just cats across the board were flying every single day. I don't really have too many examples that I want to bring up because most of them are literally at zero. They're back down to nothing, but a lot of those cat coins, were down pretty bad, down heavily. But at the time, they were popping up left and right, making huge moves across the board. I actually got a little cat portfolio for CoinGecko. Actually, a bunch of different portfolios for YouTube that I'm going to have started up. Some of these portfolios is kind of speculative. I actually don't own some of them. Some of them I do. Because I just like to see, at the end of the day, certain coins, if you pick some and just hold over a span of 3 to 6 months, kind of how they perform. So I'm going to start doing that with the channel at some point over the next few days. More than likely I'll be buying and holding every single coin that I talk about, but for right now, most of them I own. But there are a few in these little select micro cap portfolios for the channel. A few of them that I do not hold or I've been waiting for an entry on, so I'm not going to show that yet, but that is coming because I think that'd just be fun, just to see where things go over the next month. But yeah, as you can see, just brand new coins. We got Vinny here. Another Shiba Inu coin. Same thing. Chart has been trending up on the 1 minute, 5 minute. With meme coins, guys, brand new coins, it's definitely very risky. Because I've talked about it on the channel, kind of how these work. I kind of have a little strategy that I use here and there to, jump into brand new meme coins. Because right now, like I said, a new, whether it's baby animals to, super cute animals right now is a huge meta. but it's probably gonna last maybe another couple days. But most coins when they launch, they will not last a long time. They usually, if you want to get a really good run, it's usually going to be within the first 1 to 3 hours of when a coin launches. And what I try to look for is ones that are on, some trending. And you want to look for the first heavy capitulation slash dip. I don't even know if I said that word right. But you want to look for the first heavy dip that it has, on like a 1 minute, 5 minute, 15. If you see it as a good dip and it's early, that's kind of when I would look for a potential entry. But I also know that I would be out of the coin within a few hours as well. Sometimes less than an hour. Because these coins they can go south so fast. If you've never messed around with microcaps, I guarantee 8 out of 10 coins that you buy, if you think it has potential, it's probably going to go straight to zero within a few hours. So keep that in mind. It is insanely risky. Even me to this day, certain coins, if I try to buy early or, try to catch a little move, most of the time it's not successful. You really got to be cutting your losses very early and just letting your winners run if you want to play meme coins, like brand new launches. It's a tough game. I don't know. It's super fun though. But and a meme coin that I do really like right now, Retardio has been the number one meme coin. And I plan on holding that until a minimum of a 10 to 20x from where it's at, which I know for a fact it will hit that at some point. Like, this to me is a literal MOG 2.0. Like, culture wise, this is one of the largest culture coins on Solana. It's doing the same exact thing that MOG did on the chart. Just bouncing around. It might come down a little bit, bounce again, form a huge wick, and then at some point it's going to break through the wicks, or the break through the trend, start trending up heavily, and then it's just going to take off. I really feel like that's going to happen with this. I've been holding it for a while, and nothing's changed. And that's part of the game, I like to look for strong communities. And, I just hold and wait for, the rest of crypto Twitter, YouTube, and everyone else, to finally pick up on it. It's usually what gets the price to start moving, And, another one that I really do like right now, though, is Lock In on Solana. This one I faded at around 1.8 million. I'm kind of butthurt because I wanted to jump into this heavily, but I missed it. Literally right down here. It's been on a huge run already, but the community to me is, something else too. This is a very new, or not very new, but newer culture coin in my opinion. Literally just time to lock in, bro. That is like the thesis for the whole bull run, right? But I think this is just a great meme coin long term to be holding. And again, I'm not allocated in this, but I am looking for an entry. I want to. Even around here, if you're going for a super long term, like, just keep in mind it's, this could easily have one more bounce down. But I think the strength with this coin is very good. This would be worst case, and I always play it worst case because most of the time the worst case scenario does happen for coins. Like, at least like 60% of the time, 70% of the time. So I really would not be surprised to see this dump like super heavily from here, before it does make another move. But currently it is holding its trend though. It's making higher highs, higher lows, constantly right now. I got this. I had this movement here. Boom, boom. This kind of sitting. This broke through, but still continuing up here. Another higher high, lower high. Excluding the wick, but even with the wick, it's still a higher high. Boom, boom. So, the trend to me is pretty intact for what it is. And, at the end of the day, I feel like the trend doesn't matter 100% of the time, but, for short-term strength in a meme coin, most of the time the trend is your friend. until the trend just breaks. Once that trend breaks, it's, you never know what's going to happen. A perfect example I want to show you guys, I think, is Michi. Yes. This is exactly what I worry about with meme coins, especially when you see them when they are on high, like, insane moves to the upside. Like, if you looked at Michi, this was when? So mid-May, if you were still in Michi or watching Michi from here, obviously if you got in at the bottom, like, you made a killing, right? But this is where the trend is your friend, and you never know when the trend is just gonna end. And that is the very high risk in meme coins, right? Because again, you could be buying these coins down here, you buy the dip, which is fine. Down here would be fine, obviously. If you knew where Michi would be headed, you'd be up really massive, right? But again, even here, people are buying like minor dips, and they just see it moving and continuing to go up. Then it dips down here, breaks down here, but at the end of the day, trend still looks pretty good. Huge pump. Still continues to just make higher highs and lower highs, right? So there were probably a ton of people that bought right here thinking it was just going to continue up, right? But then look what happened. Just sideways and down for a while because the hype of Michi ended. And now since then it has just been trending down, as you can see. Which I think Michi is actually a bullish, like, long-term coin. I think once it finds a bottom, it's probably going to be a great one just to hold long-term. But I mean, right around here, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be some sort of bottom for it, but what I like to look for in a bottom, is, again, you want to go on long-term time frames. I don't use 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 unless I'm messing around with like brand new launches like that, which I rarely do anyways. We're making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower high, and that's, what is this probably going to do? Continue to make lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. It's probably going to bounce until, again, it finds a bottom. But some simple way sometimes that I use to find a bottom, which it doesn't work all the time, just using an RSI and looking for divergence. A lot of times that's a decent way, to find some sort of bottom, but, again, here it really hasn't worked at all, because this, you technically could call this divergence right here. If you see this, this lower high and this lower high, price is obviously moving down, right? But what is the RSI doing here? It's doing the opposite. RSI is going to the upside. So, I feel like that if people saw this, they would have thought, this is a bottom right here. Again, without seeing the future price action, they would think this could be a bottom. Oh, it's going to bounce here and start going back up. But it didn't. That's why I say it doesn't work 100% of the time. But on longer term time frames, usually the RSI for me is something that's pretty helpful. But again, meme coins too, it's very hard to chart these sometimes because you don't know what's going to happen. Usually, again, meme coins will always take a turn for the worst. When you feel like it may not, it usually will. That's how I play with these because they are just insanely risky. But yeah, like I said, with Michi kind of is leading the pack for some of these cute little animal meme coins, right? And like I said, we had Billy pop up earlier. Billy chart might do something like this over time. I don't know how hype it's gonna get over the next week or two, but if it does pump like crazy, it's probably gonna do something just like Michi. If it gets that attention, just runs, bounces, but then eventually that hype is just going to die off, huge dumps, and then it's going to trend down for a while. So keep that in mind. But yeah, Michi is pretty interesting. I don't hold Michi, but I do think it's like honestly a pretty good long-term play. Again, once it finds a bottom, not where it currently is. Keep that in mind. What else is gonna bring up too? 'Cause yeah, like I said, lock-in has been one I've been watching for a while. That community on Twitter is just nuts. It just reminds me of Mog very heavily in a in a different way, but definitely a huge culture coin currently. I think that's very good. But yeah, those are some of the ones I'm watching. You could just even scroll through. Lily, I think was yeah, I think this was another cat. This was earlier today. I was literally looking at it at the dip. Missed this, but as you can see, like I said, you never know where some of these go. Would I've expected a literal 5 to 10x in a couple of hours when I was looking at it down here? No, absolutely not. Even a 4x if I sold it at an average area. Again, if I even got in it, which I didn't. You don't expect it sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta be on it. You gotta be watching for short term price movements. Again, at the second this started trending, I'd be looking for a heavy dip, like something like this. Boom, down 50%. Obviously, this dipped way more. But, again, you never know. It is so risky. So outside of that, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to bring up. I'm probably going to bring up another video. I'm going to do, obviously, a ton of altcoins, different stuff on narrative soon. Because I don't know why, but I feel like the market is heating up as we speak. Not meme coins, but just specifically utility. I feel like it's starting to get a lot more attention and stuff. But over time, we're going to see what happens. And actually, you know what? There's one more I do want to bring up here. So this is NPC. Actually a very strong coin. But this is another example, though, of a chart that looks so up only that I would be afraid to be buying into. Because it looks like this needs to correct. Like this looks like a literal NVIDIA chart, right? Just up only for months, right? But same thing, it's making higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, lower highs. When you see giga nukes like this to the upside, its price at some point will come down just as hard as it went up. And again, I don't know if I can see NPC any higher than it is now without a super long-term correction, like some sort of mini downtrend bounce and then like another leg. To me, that has to happen for NPC for this to continue. It has been on way too up only run right now. And actually I think there's another one, Turbo, where that had one of the most insane runs I've ever seen in my life. But as you can see, that's what I mean. Usually when you see massive runs like this, at some point they correct. They will drop down 60% from its all-time high. Which again, this probably still has a lot more to run to the downside. It's got to cool off. It needs some time. It's got to find a bottom before it even reverses. So a bottom has not been found, and this is on the daily. Maybe it does one more dip, bounces, has a double bounce like this, and then it finally comes back up, boom. Could do something like that, but you got to be watching for it. But that's mainly it, guys. Just when you're looking at high time frames, if your charts, they're coins that just look up only, that should not be like a signal for you to enter. Like if you saw this turbo chart when it was 400, 500 million, when you saw it like this, it looked more like this, just like the sheer height it went from. Yeah, it was just huge. Like if you saw this, you should not be trying to buy this up here. Like you need to tell yourself that you missed the boat and you're going to wait for a correction or find another coin that is at the bottom, right? You don't want to be buying into this because you'd be down, really heavily. That's why I preach, I feel like I'm very strict with how I invest in coins. I never like to buy into, anything that even has that attention and price movement. Because for me, even if I saw this up, unless I saw it like maybe here and just having a clean trend, I would have told myself I missed it. Even if I was looking at it here and I didn't buy in, I just it's just part of my rules. It's like my strategy, my rules for investing in coins. Because you're dealing with an attention game, right? Once attention is on something and the entire market has its attention, that should be a signal for you to be selling and getting out. You know, and again, it's different too, I guess, for longer term holds. If you really believe in turbo, then by all means, do what you want, just hold, let it run again if it does. But I mean, I look at it with Mog. Mog is literally my strongest long term hold for a meme coin right now. And same thing, had a huge pump and it dumped, it bounced, and then it's continued to make another leg up, came back down again. So you guys can do whatever you want, right? But short term, focus on just selling heavily into the green when you see giga pumps like this, and potentially buy back in lower. So outside of that, though, that's kind of what I wanted to bring up. Even Trump coin down heavy too. This I don't think it's gonna stay this low forever though. I genuinely can see this by like October, November. I could see this coin literally sitting at like a couple billion. I'm not even kidding. I think this, until the election kind of concludes, this is probably gonna bounce. Have another move up, bounce, boom. Well, actually, over here is November, but I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like this is going to have at least one or two more legs up, until the election. And then during the election, it's probably going to do something like this. Huge nuke to the downside. If you're still holding it after the election, that is when you're going to be losing everything. So keep that in mind. I don't know. I do like Trump coin here. I think it has a lot of potential. I'm not trying to get political at all on the channel, but I think this coin itself definitely has a lot of growth. Even still around kind of similar to the Mog's market cap. So I don't know. That's what I got for you guys today. Again, just going over a bunch of different random coins. I kind of want to just start doing this and even live streaming, more often. Because sometimes I'd rather just make, live stream videos, just going over like daily coins in the market, stuff like that. Kind of like I'm doing right now. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys for now. I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.